everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Vegan View. So the holidays are right around the corner. We thought we would talk to you about how to survive the holidays as a vegan. It can always present some challenges when you're around family and around non-vegan food. So let's get into it.
Definitely eat before you go to a function. Like, don't be discouraged and not go to something you're invited to just because you know that there might not be vegan food. So just eat a really good meal beforehand and maybe bring a dish that you can share with everyone. But yeah, just eat ahead of time.
I love that tip. That's a great tip. Eat ahead of time. Also, bring something that is really impressive. If you can't cook, bring something from like your favorite vegan restaurant. Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, yeah.
Whole Foods always has really, really good vegan sides.
Yeah.
And they even have like the vegan roast as well. So
yeah. If you're in Southern California, I recommend you going and getting mac and cheese and bringing that to whatever party you're going to. Everybody's gonna love that.
So what about like commentary from people, family and friends? Do you guys ever encounter that, or have you encountered that, and what do you
all the time
do?
I feel like it wouldn't be a family gathering if someone didn't make some snarky comment, or even if like a joking comment like, oh look, you're missing out, like joke right back.
Joke right back.
I'm good. Or like, no, don't worry about it, I had better meat, whatever that means.
I find I have a better experience if I like don't take it so personally and don't get so defensive, but instead, I play right along like, oh, you eating that rabbit food? Oh yeah, that's why I look as good as I do, baby. Play along with it and don't take it too personally.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think just making a joke out of it back. And letting them know that, hey, you can take a joke, you have a good sense of humor, but that doesn't mean that's not going to offend you or,
exactly.
or it's going to slide off right off your shoulder.
Yeah.
So,
on the contrary, if you don't feel like joking, which is totally fine as well, because sometimes, I just remember being like an early vegan and it was like almost re-traumatizing in a sense, like doing Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and being around like, a bird on the table and things like that. Yeah. So if somebody's making a comment and you really don't find it funny and you don't feel like joking back, you can always just be like, I don't really find that funny. Or like, what do you mean by that? Like, ask them to elaborate. I heard that recently that like, if somebody says something you don't like, if you say, what do you mean by that? Explain that more to me. Then it kind of like throws them off and they don't really know how to like,
And it kind of just shows them like, I'm not the one to play with.
I heard that somewhere too. I think it was like someone was talking about like sexual harassment and it was like something related to that. Some guy making a joke and guys will always be like, it's just a joke, I'm just kidding.
Right.
And she was like, well, can you explain it to me? Because I don't really understand. Like, play stupid. Be like, I don't really understand what you mean. Do you mind explaining it to me? Like, what exactly is it that you mean?
Yeah.
Because that way you turn it back on them and you make them uncomfortable. And you leave the conversation feeling confident and feeling, like a little less frustrated probably.
Yeah. And they leave the conversation probably thinking, oh, wait, maybe I should watch what I say to people and mind my own damn business.
Exactly. And I think you can just say something as simple too as like, I'm not making comments about your food, so let's not make comments about my food. Like,
I know.
I'm using
so
that
simple.
Because we can play that game.
We can play that game. We can
don't
play
want
that game. The proof is in the pudding.
Right. Exactly. Otherwise, I'm going to ask to compare cholesterol levels.
Right.
You're not going to have a fun time.
Let's see the blood work, okay?
Yeah.
We'll talk.
What would you guys recommend for people? I never really experienced this just because when I went vegan, it was like 100% ethical. Like I had like committed because I, like all of my ethics had fallen into place and like I wasn't going to be swayed. Like a chocolate chip cookie wasn't going to faze me. Or like my mom's homemade pumpkin pie wasn't going to make me, feel like I had to eat it. But for people who maybe aren't quite there yet, they're just kind of like dipping their toes into, you know, the lifestyle, maybe eating more plant-based, things like that, and they're worried about going to Thanksgiving and being tempted, what would you say?
Bring stuff. I think just like bring a bunch of things, like things that you like, that you know you like having. Bring your own vegan cherry pie. If you have a Whole Foods near you, they have all kinds of pies during the holidays. I think Sprouts might have too during the holidays.
There's so many recipes online.
There's recipes. You could make it yourself if you're a baker. I know a lot of people really enjoy baking. I burn everything, but just bring things that you know you like and that you're gonna enjoy, or that you can't wait to eat. Bring vegan versions of that, so that when you see something and you're like, oh, I have my own version. So you're not even tempted about it. You won't even think about, you know, like you said, the chocolate chip cookie on the table, because you brought your own chocolate chip cookie. You know.
I also think that you have to be able to think ahead a little bit. Like, okay, right in this moment, I impulsively maybe want to eat this thing that's not vegan, but how am I going to feel about it after I finish eating it, and how am I going to feel about it tomorrow? 99% of the time, you're gonna feel guilty. You're gonna think that was not worth it. Why did I even do that? You're gonna be punishing yourself. And if you avoid that, you go through that process in your mind and you think ahead a little bit, and not just in that moment, you're gonna walk away from that feeling really good and really powerful that you stood by your ethics and you didn't give in over something that is gonna give you just 30 seconds of sensory pleasure, you know? So
true.
That to me is like, even if you don't have the ability to like bring something yourself, just keep that in mind, you know? Like you're gonna feel really good if you don't allow yourself to be tempted.
Yeah,
that's
so true.
And sometimes if you go to someone's house and they're not your family, or you're visiting like another friend for Friendsgiving or whatever it is, maybe just ask what's in the sides, because sometimes they'll surprise you and there will be no animal ingredients in like the green beans or in like the potato salad. I mean, there probably will be, but you know, just ask. They might surprise you. Be like, oh, actually, my grandma is dairy free. She can't have any. That's happened to me at my aunt's house.
Actually, that's just cooked with olive oil.
Right.
Or,
Yeah. So I frequently go to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, and her daughters has like 2 or 3 friends that are vegan. So she always has vegan things, and like no one in my aunt's family is vegan, but there's always vegan things because some of her guests are vegan. So, you know, if someone was vegan and going to her house for the first time, they wouldn't assume they have anything vegan, but you never know. So it doesn't hurt to ask.
Very true.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with the host too, I think you can definitely, you know, if I were going to like, you know, my in-laws' house, or, you know, somewhere like my best friend's house, something like that, and I knew what they were making, I think, you know, if you're comfortable to be like, hey, can we swap, like, this is a really great vegan butter, can we swap the butter that you usually use for this with a vegan butter? Or like, hey, I found this like mashed potato recipe, like, I don't know if you're like looking for, you know, something new to try.
Definitely, ask, or like, hey, like I can help you make the mashed potatoes, and then like you make it, or you
offer
make
to
it there,
help.
bring it, and then everybody's eating vegan mashed potatoes. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I celebrated Christmas last year with my boyfriend and his family, and I made a bunch of vegan stuff, and then his family had like a bunch of non-vegan stuff. I thought me and him were just gonna be the only ones eating the vegan food. No. Everyone was eating all the vegan food and tore it up and loved it. And I feel like it was such a good like way for them to experience like, oh wait, this is good, this is good, this is good. Like they were eating the regular mac and cheese and then eating like the vegan one, and it was like there was no difference, you know? So yeah, don't be scared to like cook all your favorite things, because everyone's probably gonna end up loving it anyways.
It can be a very hard time, you know, not just because of like the animals involved, but sometimes being around family brings up emotions and dynamics and things like that. But at the same time, it can also be really positive. It is what you make it, and it can be really empowering. Like you saying, like, you know, go into it, like think ahead, like think of like what this day is going to look like for you and the challenges that may present themselves, and know that you are going to plan ahead. You're going to make sure that you have stuff that you enjoy, and you're going to come out the other end feeling so empowered, even if it feels uncomfortable maybe in the moment. After the fact, looking back, you're going to be like, wow, I just went through this whole holiday where almost everybody in the world is eating multiple animal products, you know, in every single dish, and I was able to have an amazing meal. No animals were harmed. I feel good about myself. I can rest my head at night knowing that like I saved some animals today. And that's just like a really empowering thing. I feel like every single year the holidays just get better and better because I'm more firm in my choices. I feel more confident. And like you said, family starts to get a little curious. And, you know, may share in the cruelty-free fun.
I really think that you also should, I mean, you've been to these family dinners how many times? Probably so many times over the years. Like, you already know what Uncle Bob or Aunt Barbara is going to say. You know how they act. Like, you shouldn't be just, like, sitting and thinking and just getting anxious. Like, oh, God, like, I don't know what they're going to say or how they're going to act. Yeah, you do. So prepare yourself. Like, that helps me a lot where I'm like, I already know they're going to say this. So I just have to, like, you know, I picture myself in the moment, staying confident. I can't tell you how many times it's like, it doesn't surprise me. It's not like it comes out of nowhere and I like don't know how to react. It's like, I've already thought about this. I knew this moment was gonna come. So I don't let my anxiety take over, and I am able to, you know, say something snarky or ignore them or whatever and just come out of it without feeling shitty and, you know.
And just know that they do not know what you know, so they don't know how it affects you. They really don't understand that it's an ethical thing. I think like so many people in my life that even know me for years and years and years, they know that I care about veganism. I have this show, like I talk about it constantly. I still think for some of them, they don't quite understand how deep and ethically ingrained it is. They still think it's like just what I eat. So just understanding that too, and just kind of having like a, you know, they're gonna say what they're gonna say and they don't really understand what they're doing mentality is helpful too, without thinking like, oh, they're so hurtful and they're like malicious and things like that. I mean, certainly I'm sure some people are, but just knowing that it's just ignorance sometimes.
Sometimes there's toxic people, like regardless of whether you're vegan or not. Sometimes you just have toxic family members, and sometimes they make stupid comments about anything, you know, or about your lifestyle, about your choices, about anything. And for those kinds of people that you don't really want to invest any energy in, I would suggest I think it's called the gray wall method or the gray stone method or something like that. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, it's gray walling. No, gray stoning.
I think it's a stone. I think it's
stonewalling.
Stonewalling.
Is it stonewalling?
Stonewalling.
It's stonewalling, yeah.
No, there's something gray in the title.
There's something gray
in the title. I think stonewalling is different.
Okay.
Some gray stone. The gray stone method. Look it up. Gray stone method is when you're not ignoring the person, but you're becoming as uninteresting as possible. So to make them move along and like not have any interest in either bothering you or talking to you or really anything. So just keep things simple. Talk about the weather and just yes, no, don't ask any questions. Yep. Haha. Great. And then move on, because you're going to be boring to them and then they're not going to want to harass you or be mean to you or be rude to you anymore. So I feel like that's...
Because I think when like Uncle Bob is like, don't you want this bacon? Wow, you're missing out. Like they want a reaction.
So if you're boring, they're like, she's no fun.
It's not fun for them.
That actually happened to me recently because I work at a sports bar where they serve me. Unfortunately, like if you want to give me money so I can get out of there, I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, the cooks are super annoying, and I know that they like are trying. They think they're being funny, but they'll make jokes and be like, "Malina, you want the meat?" And I like for the longest time I've had many reactions depending on my mood. I'm like, "You're disgusting," or no, or whatever. I'll snap back one way or another. And literally just the other day he's like, "Malina, you want the meat?" And I just went like this. And then I think I like got on my phone and went to TikTok, and he just like didn't know what to do with that reaction.
It's uncomfortable.
Because he would feed off of me being like, "You're disgusting." Like, what?
He loved it.
He loved the reaction, but like that reaction, he didn't know what to do with it. And
it makes them uncomfortable
this
back.
This is genius because now it's not going to be fun for him anymore. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And that's so funny because that literally just happened.
Back to like the stonewalling thing, sometimes it can be like, as much as they're being rude, you don't want to cause any drama. So like ignoring someone completely like might be like just not the best thing to do at a family get together. So I think the gray rock method is ideal, because then you can, you're still pleasant, you're just uninteresting. Just like, so Malina, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Great.
Sure.
Just change the subject. Like if they're like, "Don't you wish you could have this meat? Did you try the mashed potatoes? They're really good."
I do that a lot.
Have you seen that new movie? Really good. Move on. Oh, cookies, and then go that way.
It's just like protect your peace.
Protect your
people
peace.
like they're gonna try to get a reaction out of you, and as fun as it is to snap back, and this is something I've done so many times over the years, but then it turns into a debate, and even if you win in the end, it kind of just feels like it was a waste of time.
Yeah, they're not going to change their mind.
Because even if you won, they're not going to think they lost.
Yeah.
They're just going to think like, oh, she thinks she
wrong.
knows. She thinks she knows more than me.
I mean, they're not, maybe some of you have an experience. I would love to hear about it in the comments if you do. But in my experience, I don't think I've ever had like a debate with somebody about veganism at like a dinner table or like at a party where they then went vegan after that. Like, the chances of them going vegan and you actually changing their mind about something is pretty slim. Like, if they really want to change their mind, they're going to have to come across that information on their own.
Yeah.
And we've all been vegan for so many years, so we've had many different holidays where we have been the ones arguing or fighting back or defending ourselves. And at this point, it's just so important just to protect your peace, focus on what matters to you, focus on the animals that you're saving, and just try to have a fun holiday.
And if you do feel the need to say something back, what I've learned from experience is that if you're going to do it, go to the absolute most extreme. So if they want to say something like, well, don't you want to try some of this? Oh, I don't really like eating rotten dead corpses. Or like, oh, I'm a human adult, something about breastfeeding from a different mammal just doesn't sit right with me. I feel like I've evolved past that. Like, just be like the absolute extreme, because that shuts them up, or just ignoring them shuts them up. But anything in between where you try to, like, you know, maybe have a little debate, it gets nowhere. So if you do want to argue, just I don't know.
Also, I think if your intention is to convert someone and like help someone go vegan, I think their approach from the beginning is going to be different. They're probably not going to mock you. They're not going to be making fun of you. Exactly. Like, they might crack a joke, but they're going to be like, you know, I actually tried it, and like, you know, I was having a hard time, blah, blah, blah. Like, they open the conversation so that you can help them without really them asking for help. Like, they want to have dialogue about how they could go vegan or the things that they tried. Like, that kind of conversation is different from someone just mocking you and like, you know, wanting to get a reaction out of you. And like, you know, your family members or your friends, or if you don't know the stranger, I feel like you still will be able to tell if they want to have a genuine conversation about veganism, and
you can definitely tell
how to do it.
And I feel like there's kind of a middle ground of that too, between like the extreme, the person that's making fun of you, and the person who like genuinely like has tried veganism and is curious about it, and the person who wants to ask you things that are very easily Googleable and like pretend like they're interested in going vegan. Like, oh, well, I get why meat is bad, but like, why not eggs and why not, you know, dairy? And then they put that burden on you to then try to like explain that, you know, and if they come at you nice, it's so hard not to be like, oh, let me try to actually explain to you. I can instantly see their eyes glaze over, like when they lose disinterest and they're just asking like to be nice or something. They're not genuinely interested. So I always, like, lately I default to like, oh, I'll send you a link to a YouTube video that I found to be super helpful. Send Aaron Janice's Dairy is Scary. Send you know, a documentary. Be like, I'll send you a list of documentaries you can watch, because sometimes it's just like not your burden to take on, like especially when you're just trying to enjoy yourself.
Especially if they're not going to listen.
Yeah, especially if they're not going to listen. It's one thing if they're like, oh, I tried this, I was struggling, how do you think I could like go about it better? And they seem genuinely interested, but I do feel like there is that middle ground of the people that are like, you know, they're still going to be a burden to you in some way.
Yeah, and I feel like it is, with all of this going on, I still feel like it could be a wonderful opportunity to like lead by example, because you never know who's looking at you like, wow, she is firm in her decision. Like, she said she was vegan and she really showed up with vegan food, and like, look at her, this is a lifestyle. And you never know, you're planting that seed, and you never know how it could like spark something in someone.
Yeah, you never
just
know who
leading
you're
by
inspiring.
example.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so just stay firm in who you are and your choices you made, and you're good.
Yeah. Another thing I will say, if you feel like you're tempted to like eat the non-vegan food, you know, other than like, personally, I feel like if you still feel tempted, watch more documentaries and educate yourself more about factory farms. But if you're not ready to do that yet and you just feel like you might be tempted, I think buying new vegan products is like always exciting for me, because I get excited to try them. So like, you know that there's certain desserts, maybe you've had the Daiya cheesecake like a million times and you know it's great, but like maybe try a different dessert. Maybe get like a new ice cream, vegan ice cream that you haven't tried yet. Something that's going to get you excited to try. That way you're not like tempted because you're like, oh, I want to know what that, I kind of remember what that tastes like, and I want to know what that tastes like, and I'm sick of this cheesecake I've had 20 times.
You know what I've been doing a lot lately, just because I have my routine things that I buy at the grocery store all the time, and I have kind of gotten to a point where I'm like sick of the things that I'm eating, and I'm like, God, I feel like I'm eating all the same stuff. So I've been looking up like recipes, old recipes that I used to eat when I was like a kid and whatnot, and just like veganizing them and replacing it. And that way, like, you know, you get excited again because like it's a little bit of a challenge. It's not even a challenge anymore because there's so many vegan options. But like, you know, you look at what you used to eat, you replace the items, and you get to cook it. It's just like the whole experience is fun. You know, it becomes an experience for you, and it makes being vegan exciting again. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, one of my tips that I stand behind now, I don't know if it's just because I've been vegan for so many years, but I just think that if you don't owe your family anything, you don't owe your friends anything. If you know that you're walking into a situation that's going to make you uncomfortable, even if it's just sitting at a table where there's a dead bird and you have to deal with comments being thrown at you all night, you don't have to go. You don't have to go. I finally realized that like the FOMO, like it doesn't exist for me anymore. Like I just would rather protect my peace. I would rather do what makes me happy, makes me comfortable, keeps my anxiety away. I don't have to be at that party, and I just don't owe that to anybody.
I just declined an invite the other day. My friend had like a dinner, and last year she had a dinner, and everyone was just eating all different types of animals, and like I just felt so uncomfortable. So then the other day she invited me to another one of her dinners, and I politely declined, and I was like, well, let me know if you do something after or before, but no, I can't make it because I don't want to put myself in that position. I love you, I support you, but I don't feel comfortable being around a bunch of meat eaters at the table. And then y'all want to split the bill, and all I got was one little
side.
You know what I mean? So protect yourself, protect your boundaries, and like if something didn't feel good to you the first time, you know, don't make the same mistake the next time. You know.
Especially if you're gonna show up and you feel like you're actually getting attacked, like to the point where it's uncomfortable, and you feel like you're being humiliated for your ethical choices. You don't have to be there.
I can't even tell you how much of a relief it was when all of a sudden that clicked. I literally was like, why didn't I think of this earlier? I don't have to go.
It's like you're obligated. You're not in class. You don't have to stay there.
And the thing is, like, you feel like, oh my God, if I don't go, they're gonna be so mad, or they're gonna hate me. They're not gonna want to be my friend anymore. And at the end of the day, if they don't want to be my friend because I didn't show up to a party or I didn't go drinking with them or whatever, then maybe they don't belong in my life in the first place. So 100%. That's my tip. Protect your peace. I have always had terrible anxiety, and once I figured that out and I just like started doing what I want to do, my anxiety has it's like half. I'm still anxious. I'm still a little anxious bitch, but not as bad.
I think that comes with getting older too. You know, I feel like in your 20s you have so much anxiety and FOMO, and you just feel like you're always missing out. You feel like you have to go to things. And like once you get older, you're just like,
I'm good.
I do not care.
The house sounds like the best option right now.
You've had so much of that experience that you can look back on it now. You know, you're like, I did this how many times? Was it ever fun? No. So I'm staying the fuck home.
But truly, if people are gonna like make you feel bad about your choices, if you feel, listen to your gut. If you feel uncomfy when you're hanging out with a group of people or somebody, like that is your body telling you, I'm in like fight or flight mode right now. I don't like this. Get me out of this situation. And our brains will try to reason like, oh, but they've been my friend for 10 years, and like, we've done so much together. No, if somebody's making you feel icky or they make you feel less than, like that's not a real friend. And if you
no toxic loyalty to
toxic
anybody.
loyalty.
If you don't go to an event, your real friends are going to be the ones that are like, hey, I missed you. Like, can we get dinner? Like, just you and I. Like, your real friends will show up. And if not, time to find some brand new ones. I know it's hard to meet people as an adult, but like, there's a lot of great people out there, and you gotta just have your circle be
I hate
nice
to
and
say it, it's really hard for me in this day and age to be friends with non-vegans. Like,
Yes. It's hard,
introduce
yeah.
new friends. It's really hard. Like, it's just so hard. I have a new friend, and she invited me to a cafe to work the other day, and she sends the Yelp, and all the pictures are like eggs everywhere, and I'm just like, I had to explain to her, like, hey, does it smell like eggs in there? Because I'll throw up. Like, literally, you want to meet here, I can't handle it. She's like, no, it doesn't smell like eggs. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking in my head, she probably thinks I'm crazy because she probably doesn't understand. But no, literally, I don't want to smell eggs.
Yeah.
You know, it's really
very
hard
unpleasant.
for me to be friends with people who aren't vegan.
I was just talking about this with
Yeah.
Brendan, my boyfriend. I just said this.
Who's that?
He's just this new guy that entered my life recently. It's really fresh. It's a really fresh relationship. It's
like
It just
20 years
started.
long.
Anyways, we're totally in the honeymoon phase right now. Anyways,
since they were like born.
since birth. But I don't know, something triggered me and something pissed me off. It was about one of my friends, and I'm just like, you know me so well. Like, there's people who even watch this show, and I'm like, you do not align with me so much that why are we even friends? Like, if I can't even spark a little bit of compassion in you by, like, you know, my passion towards this, then why are you in my life? Because you just frustrate me. And the people that like come at me and like once a year, I really want to go vegan. Then do it, bitch. I don't know.
So
like,
sick
I'm
of
tired
it.
of you coming to
So
me saying,
sick of it.
I really want to go vegan. Then do it. Why are you asking me every single year for advice? Like, do you not have Google? Do you not have the internet? Like, I'm sorry. Okay, anyways.
No, the
clearly I'm
Google's
a little
is
passionate about
free.
this.
No, I
But
feel ya.
genuinely, I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't need this in my life anymore. If these people make me feel icky, if they don't respect me enough to find a restaurant that I can eat at, like, they're selfish.
like bare
they're
minimum.
self-centered.
Yeah.
They haven't even thought of me. They don't think about me. They don't even take the one thing that's like makes me who I am that I care so much about.
Right.
And they don't even
having
think,
compassion.
they
having
don't even
compassion
take that
and
into
understanding.
consideration.
Or just seeing you for you. You're like, do you then know me then? Because like, if you knew me, this is so a part of who I am. So if you can't accept that, then I don't feel like we even know each other.
And at a certain point, I'm like, this might sound mean on my end, but like, why do you want to be friends with me?
Right.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be friends with me? Like, we're so different.
Oh, it's just so hard with the non-vegans. I'm just like, but luckily my non-vegan friends that I do have, they love vegan food. They'll eat vegan food with me, cook vegan food with me. A lot of times if we go to a non-vegan restaurant that has maybe questionable vegan options, they're the ones asking. And I'm like, wait, hold up, baby. I already figured it out. I didn't already call it before we got here. I appreciate it, but you putting me on the spot. But like, those are the kind of non-vegan friends I have, so I'm grateful.
Those are the people you want to be around. The people that like
exactly.
are understanding of you, are curious about it, or will
such a
eat
big
vegan
part
food.
of who we are.
Exactly.
At least just like see that that's a part of you and acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Like that's the bare minimum.
I'm like that want to go to vegan restaurants with you. It's like it's one meal. Come on. I'd rather not go to Barry's Steakhouse. Like, come on.
Oh God, gross. No, but also like that shows you that they genuinely are interested in you. They've actually listened to what you have to say and what's important to you. And otherwise, like I've encountered so many friends, so many people, and it's okay, it's not their fault. Like it's LA, a lot of narcissists end up here. But like I notice certain people when you're talking to them, you're just kind of a placeholder for them to hear themselves talk about themselves. You're just there. Otherwise, they would be talking to themselves about themselves, like if it wasn't absolutely batshit crazy. But you're just there for them to talk at. Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen like somebody's eyes just glaze over when I try to add something about myself. Because you know that's how the conversation goes, and they're
automatically
just
thinking about what they're gonna say about themselves next.
Oh God, she's talking about herself. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, or they're not even listening.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just weed those people out.
Yeah, weed those people out. And if you know, we are lucky that we have each other. So we do have a circle of vegan friends to rely on. But like honestly, I think the internet is the best place to meet vegan friends. Like a lot of us met on the internet before we met in real life. So that's also just, you know, follow other vegans on Instagram in your area and slide into their DMs. You can slide into our DMs. I'll chat with you guys all the time if you're frustrated. I love to chat with you guys.
Oh my God, definitely give me the drama.
Give me the tea.
I love like being like, you should say this. You should. So bring it to me.
So find vegans to connect with. I do think that community is so important. It really does help you solidify your beliefs. If you're living somewhere where none of your friends are vegan, none of your family's vegan, find that community. It exists, and it will help you feel a lot better during the holidays. And we're here for you.
You guys got this. You got this.
Got this. Do it for the animals.
Got this.
Watch YouTube videos. I love watching people's vlogs, people who are vegan, because you feel like you're there with them and you feel a little less alone. That's what I do a lot of the time, and I just admire a lot of vegans, and I'm just like, oh, look, this person lives so similarly to me. I'm not a weirdo, and it just makes you feel less alone. So I think it's so
there's strength in numbers.
Yes,
and we feel like we're heard, and we feel like we're understood, and that our ethics are mirrored in somebody else that also cares about the same things that we care about. It makes you feel better if you don't have anyone around you.
Let us know if you have any tips that we missed, and leave them in the comments down below. Let's start a conversation about how you guys survive the holidays as a vegan, and anything you might suggest.
Anybody who saw our video last year, I really want to know, leave in the comments below if you used any of our tips from our last video, how that went. Just let us know. I'd love to hear.
I feel like every year we have a little bit different of a perspective, so it's kind of fun to do these and just like
see how we change.
So
like this year, I don't give a.
I was thinking about this last year. I was like, and this year I'm like, just don't go.
Protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
If you do end up going, make sure you make amazing vegan food and make sure it's better than anything else that any of the other people make. Blow it out of the water.
You can do it.
The best ex-vegan holiday dish and show them.
Show them.
Yes.
Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram.
Please
all the
leave a
things.
comment.
We'll leave links in the description box down below, and we'll see you next week for another episode.
Bye.